Welcome to State of Affairs. I'm Steve Adubato, coming to you from the Agnes Varus NJ TV studio in beautiful Newark, New Jersey. We're pleased to welcome one of the most prominent members of the state legislature, State Senator Teresa Ruiz, a Democrat who happens to be the Assistant Majority Leader and Chair of the Senate Education Committee. Good to see you, Senator.
Thank you for having me.
One of the issues that you have been a leader on, in a whole range of education issues, but one of the ones that we're involved in right now as part of an initiative called Right from the Start, NJ. It's a public awareness initiative dealing with infants and babies and their needs, and you know this professionally and personally.
That's right. So my career trajectory started me inside of a daycare classroom. I think you know the story. And that's the first time I really learned the impact that a teacher can have in a child's life. I was fortunate enough to share an academic year with 4-year-olds, and you can see the potential that they have. It was my inability to expose them to much greater things that really prevented them from learning more. And so when I got into the legislature, my focus was education and a real fine-tuned lens on early childhood. State of New Jersey has a phenomenal early childhood program, but what we have lacked in is expanding those programs and really thinking about pre-3-year-olds. What happens from prenatal care to 3 before we get them inside of a classroom setting.
What's going on then for those babies?
So what is happening as a mother?
And before they're born.
Exactly. As a new mother, my daughter will be 1 in the next couple of weeks. She was being exposed to music. I was reading to her every single day while she was in the belly, and I truly believe that it has a great impact. Science has indicated that already. There are neuroscientists that come out and explain to you that a child's brain is malleable plastic. And if we get an opportunity to mold that, to expose it, to have them express in different ways, the opportunities that we have to really creating a phenomenal human being is extraordinary. But that also requires that the mother has access to high quality health care, that she has quality to career programs, that she is in an environment that's safe and secure, and that she has a career pathway herself. And so it's a huge, full hands-on deck approach, depending on many different departments. I'm hoping that within the next administration, I'll be able to pass a piece of legislation that creates the Department of Early Childhood that really lends itself to bringing in all the pieces together, so it's a one-stop hub that really focuses on 0 to 5.
That's so interesting because, by the way, we'll also be joined as part of the series by the chair of the Senate Health Committee, who you know very well, Senator Joseph Vitale, will be talking about this. But I'm curious about this. How much of this, Senator, has to do with money? We were talking to Cecilia Zalkine for Advocates for Children of New Jersey, and she brought up the issue of reimbursement for women or families, but particularly moms who are involved in childcare, don't have the dollars. Is the state have a role there? Of
course we do. So the thing is to look at it twofold. When we think about early child care right now, I think you can talk to a mother in Cherry Hill and you can talk to a mother in Irvington, and you're going to hear the exact same issues. Do we have access to the resources to put them in, in a full-day program? What kind of programs are available? Do I have the ability to take them to and from school? And so it might come from different dynamics, but it's still kind of the same issue. We are in a state that has, for the most part, 2 working parents in the household or a single head of household. And so child care is a really prominent thing. And it becomes a decision whether you send them into a private facility that you can afford to pay, or do you have a program that's afforded to you that's high quality, or do you keep them at home with a relative because that's the most cost effective? We can't be short-sighted in that. So for every dollar that we invest in early childhood programs, there is a range. The average is you get $15 back for every single dollar.
15 back?
15 back. There's a range, and it's cost savings, reductions in schools when the child has opportunities to grow out of deficiencies that he or she may have. A pathway to higher earning, a pathway away from the prison pipeline, and a pathway from reduction on leaning themselves on resources of the government. Of course it is. So I see at home the ability that I have had to really work with my daughter. I've seen it in the classroom. As a teacher, I've seen the research-based mechanism. It is short-sighted on behalf of levels of government to think that making an investment in a child is an expenditure. It's truly a cost-saving measure. It's a life-saving measure.
Speaking of life-saving, there's no natural segue for this, but I wanted to ask you about this. We also work with the Sharing Network of New Jersey, organ and tissue donation organization. There are thousands of people waiting right? Just have their lives saved because there's an organ that's not working in their body. You know this issue, again, personally, and have been a leader in it. Talk about organ and tissue donation and why it's so important, because there are so many people are just waiting.
So it's the most intimate, important thing that a person, a human being, can lend themselves to. Oftentimes you think that your time on earth will measure what you've done and who you are. And my dad was an extraordinary human being that touched the lives of so many people and helped them in so many ways. And he oftentimes would kid, because he had diabetes, et cetera, and would say, you know, I'm an organ donor, but who's going to want any one of these used parts? They're not going to be good for anything. And he was so wrong. He lives on in two people, someone who's reached out to our family, who really got a second chance at life because was part of the gift of sharing. And it's an extraordinary thing. If you have the opportunity to do it, we should all check that box on our driver's licenses, or leave, you know, detailed information as to what you want happen. You can give back way after in ways that you can never imagine.
Before I let you go, we've known each other a few years. We've had a lot of offline conversations, and one of the things that strikes me is your optimism about being able to solve our problems in spite of what appears to be going on in Washington and State House, the gridlock. Why do you remain optimistic?
I have to remain optimistic. When you think about the future of this country and this state, the only way that we're really going to turn the corner is making sure that we keep the eye on the prize. And for me, that's the next generation of leaders. It's children. It's making those investments. We saw it in this last budget cycle. We were able to put in over $100 million into the school funding formula. 25 of that went into early childhood expansion. And we just need to keep the bar moving back until we get to a finish line that moves every child in the state of New Jersey into a classroom that has high-quality school setting.
I take back what I said. I need to ask you about DACA.
Sure.
We don't know exactly where we are in the fall, late September 2017. President has said one thing, and I'm not sure exactly where he is right now, but I know what the Attorney General, Jeff Sessions, said. 22,000 dreamers in New Jersey, you say?
I say they're New Jerseyans. I say they're our students. I say it's our responsibility to be sure that they have access to school, that they have access to resources, and that they continue to be part of the economic vibrancy that they have been for the years that they've been here.
We can't send them back?
Absolutely
to where?
not.
I mean, where's back?
They are Americans. They know America as their home. They know New Jersey as their home.
State Senator Teresa Ruiz is a Democrat. She is the Assistant Majority Leader, and she is, in fact, the chair of the very important, significant Senate Education Committee. Thank you, Senator.
Thank you.
Stay with us. This is State of Affairs. We'll be right back.